Actually, why don't you pause your recording until everybody joins?
Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Shweta.
Hi,
Hi, Shazzy, thank you.
How are you guys?
Yeah, good for a Sunday. Right. Hi, guys. I have my observer as well with me. Can you see her?
Hi guys.
Hi, hi. Yeah, we
Hello.
can.
I feel like I know
Hello.
you already after 3 sessions.
Yeah, her name is Julian. Enjoy him again. So yeah,
So
so
I think you have to have 8 before you can start.
oh, sure.
That's my understanding, is that you have to have a minimum of 8 before you qualify.
Well, that
But what if
depends.
you type
Is your
7
observer
and
good at
5?
counting?
Good at counting.
If your
Nah, she
observer's
just
not that great at
forgot. She
counting, then we
forgot.
can just go straight ahead.
Yeah, she forgot. All right, before we start, I'll just do a recap of what we did yesterday. So we touched base on, not touched base, we literally went ahead of time. So we sort of learned about positive work relationships, time management, scheduling, and feedback, how to handle feedback. So positive and negative feedback or criticism or whatever you call it as. And yeah, so basically work relationships. Our topic today, again, is sort of similar. So it's the element 2 of BSBWOR203, and it is contributing to work group activities. So this is my session 2 and the last one. Woohoo! All right, so the performance criteria that I'm going to cover here is providing support to team members to ensure work group goals are met, contributing constructively to work group goals and tasks according to organizational requirements, sharing information relevant to work with work group to ensure designated goals are met, identifying and planning strategies or opportunities for improvement of work group in liaison with work group. Right, so moving on to slide 3, do we have a volunteer here to read? Please.
I'll go.
Thanks, Mark.
Team stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. The advantages of teams. If a group is involved in making a decision, it will be more likely to deliver a successful outcome than an individual. But, sorry, can you just go back for a second?
Sorry, yep.
But if the synergy is negative, the meeting can become bogged down with irrelevancies and no decisions are made. Working in a team is also better for the morale and motivation of the workforce. People usually experience greater job satisfaction working in groups than working alone. Although success can depend on the specific problem, difficult problems have been found to be more effectively handled by a group.
Thank you. Do you want to add something to this, Mark?
I completely agree. Being more collaborative in team environments, that making people feel that they're part of the solution, and not just dictating which way we have to move forward, can be a really useful tool in ensuring a team has got a common goal and common purpose. I certainly find it. Obviously, it depends on the situation. There are some things where you can't be very collaborative. You have to be a little more dictatorial. But for most of the day-to-day strategic decisions, if people feel like they're part of the strategy, they've got some skin in the game. So that they'll generally pull together more as a team.
Absolutely. So as my picture here says, together everyone achieves more. So as we did touch base on this yesterday as well, that if sometimes you can think that the whole burden of the team is on me, like I'm giving you an example of my son. He does this soccer and he actually thinks that he's a very good goalkeeper and the team relies on him. That's what he thinks. Okay, that's in his head. That's what actually us human beings are as well. We all can think, nah, I have to do my best. I don't care what everyone does. And then we don't work as a team then. So basically we are doing our best as an individual, but if we do not work as a team and we are not concerned about what the other person's going to do, so then the goals, the work group goals, the goals of that team are not going to be met. We sort of can achieve lots individually, but not as a team. So I definitely think working as a team is better for motivation at the workforce itself. And actually we do achieve more if we work as a team, if we consider everyone else's cultures, values, everyone's a winner there. Yeah, if I should actually re-emphasize, if there is any word that anyone cannot understand, if the font is big or small, or you know, having trouble understanding, please raise your hand. Please let me know. If you need to refer to the dictionary, please do that. Or if you need to ask the meaning of something, please do that as well. Right. Anyone else wants to add to this? Right. Moving on to slide 4. Do I have a volunteer here, please? Right? Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah. Thanks.
What makes for good team collaboration? I can communicate with my colleagues easily. Responsibilities are clear. Who is doing what? I can trust colleagues to do good work. Everyone agrees on the goal or outcome. I get along well with my colleagues on a personal level.
Exactly. Do you want to add something to you this year?
Yes, I think the slide tells everything.
Yes.
How do I describe it? They connect to each other. It's not individual elements. Each element connect to another one.
Yes.
And each one of them explains perfectly.
Yes. So basically, it's effective communication. I think that's how you can actually work as a team. So if you cannot communicate properly to each other, if you have problems or if you have misunderstandings, that's going to build up, that which we covered yesterday. So I think that's all of this is actually related to each other. So if you do not understand the values or the culture of someone else, or if you think, okay, this person's more interested in achieving their own individual goals, and let them do what they are doing, or you know, and I will do my own bit. No, that's not how it works. You work as a team. You can trust your colleagues that they are also willing to do things for your betterment. So if you achieve goals, that's how, when you do have performance appraisals, whether you are in hospitality industry or in any industry, it actually, you are appraised, or your performance appraisal is on the basis of your team goals. So has your team met the goals most of the times? Right, moving on to slide 5. Do I have a volunteer here? It's just a simple diagram, please. Right, I'll read that. So 4 stages in the development of groups and teams. So basically the first one is norming, so working with each other. Storming, challenging each other. Forming, still learning about each other. Performing, so we've formed a team now, we are performing as a team now, so working as one. And this is actually elaborated in slide number 6. Do I have a volunteer here for slide 6, please?
Yeah, sure. Forming. During the first stage, forming team members establish interpersonal relationships, become familiar with the assigned task, the group assignment, and create ground rules. From the forming, we move into storming, which is the second stage. Storming marks a time of intergroup conflict due to the lack of group unity. Because team members still see themselves as individuals rather than as part of a team, they resist the formation of group structure in favour of expressing their individuality. We move to norming, the third stage. Third stage, norming is characterised by the emergence of group harmony as part of members being to openly express ideas, openly being able to express ideas and opinions, members being able to accept teammates for who they are, and task-related conflicts are avoided in an effort to perceive harmony. Moving into the performing stage. So the final stage, performing, reflects a period of productive collaboration in which members demonstrate support for each other and assume roles that will enhance task activities. Constructive attempts are made to resolve an issue related to the completion of the task.
Excellent. Thanks, Mick. Do you want to add something to this?
I think probably the one thing I would say is it's a ongoing cycle, right? Because
Yes.
new members come into the team, so therefore it's more of a cycle, and it can go different stages. So you can be a performing team, but a conflict can happen, and you're going back into a storming stage, right, to work through that. So I just think it's more of a, rather than just a lockstep, it is a
Crunching up,
continuous
yes.
cycle of improvement. Yeah.
But it's also cyclical because this happens all the time. You can't just say, right, we've achieved goal A, and
That's
we
right.
have to continue with that. So
Yeah, exactly. It's an ongoing cycle. Yeah, you bring a new person in. You bring
Yes.
Mark and I into your study group, and you're going, God, why do we form this group to start with? These two.
No.
We're just making it harder work for everyone. Sorry, guys.
No. So that's exactly right. So it is a cycle. It doesn't end anywhere. So you bring a new person in the group, then you're forming it again, and then you're explaining the stuff and crunching it up again, and then you're norming it again. So basically you're trying to harmonize the group again, and then you're achieving together. So again, yeah, so that's exactly what we guys have been doing, I think. Like, you know, we've been sitting in that group, and there's like more than 50 people in our group. And and there's new people keep coming in, joining the group. And then, yeah, so everyone has got sometimes same kind of questions. Everyone's sometimes got different questions. It's basically the understanding as well, the difference in understanding how you understand the question as well. So we are all working together as a team to achieve one goal though. Yeah. Right, so moving on to slide 7. Do I have a volunteer here?
Contribute constructively to work group goals. Contribution. The communication process is dynamic and interactive. People place meaning and structure on the variety of messages received from others. This interaction may be direct or indirect from others. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Effective communication occurs when the intended meaning of the sender and the perceived meaning of the receiver are one and the same. The communication process takes place in various situations for different reasons, with the potential for many interpretations.
Exactly. Do you want to add something, Sylvia?
No, I think that's fairly straightforward.
That's it.
Keep
Yeah.
communicating, and hopefully you get the same outcome. End of story.
Yes, that's right. So as I said in the other slide, that there can be different interpretations. So sometimes one word can actually have different meanings as well. So that's probably why sometimes miscommunications also happen, and you interpret something differently. And so what I said yesterday as well about feedback, sometimes you can just receive a feedback from the HR person, and you can think, okay, so she doesn't like me, that's it, criticism, so I haven't been selected. And then until and unless you actually pick up the phone, you're gonna have that interpretation in your head that you did not perform well, you are not the right candidate. So you have to pick up the phone to get the right interpretation of what it actually means, what that feedback means. So that effective communication really helps in building team. And effective communication plays a big role there. Right, moving on to slide 6. So yeah, effective communication. Do I have a volunteer here?
Yep, so I'll read it. Okay, so
Thanks, Tris.
effective communication cycle, it goes with communicate, and then to receiver, then you have the feedback, sender, so it just goes on a cycle. And then effective communication, effective interpersonal communication within a group or team has 2 components, spoken and unspoken. First, spoken communication skills. Good spoken skills allow all members actively to participate in the interaction process. Members share ideas and their knowledge. So in formal situations, example given meetings, members should be given the opportunity to speak and to share their ideas qualifications and experience. Second is nonverbal communication. So it is a message sent by any other means other than words or graphics. This can be by facial expressions, gestures, posture, or how you dress. So, or by how you speak on the telephone or face to face.
Exactly. Thanks, Shezi. Do you have something to add to this?
Yep. So, it's quite self-explanatory, but so with effective communication, I believe that there are ways aside from verbal communication we have, like, yeah, with the nonverbal, so it can express our emotions as well. And then so with the cycle, we communicate with the person, and then they will receive it, they will have the interpretation of what we are saying, and then it just goes on in the cycle.
Exactly. So this cycle here, so is the sender. So let's say I'm the sender. I've communicated something, okay, and you are the receiver. So I've communicated something to Shezi, all right? Now, Shezi understands something, okay, of what I have communicated. But until Shezi actually responds back to me, I would not understand, or I would not know whether she has actually understood what I have said. So her interpretation in her head would not be known to me until she has actually given me a feedback or spoken, reacted to my communication. Is that correct? Are we on the same? Yeah. So basically, so it is a cycle again, effective communication cycle. So we both, until and unless we both together talk to each other, we do not know what the other person's saying, or if that is what is the meaning of what you have said has been received properly by the second person, whether it's on phone or on, so it's basically called as reconfirming of your communication. So basically, you have to make sure that your idea or your message has been understood properly by the second person, and it only gets understood, or you only know that that person's understood your meaning or your statement or whatever you have communicated when they have given you feedback or when they have actually communicated back to you. The non-verbal communication basically is like, I've got a lot of visual aids. So in my presentation, first presentation, which was the 20-minute presentation, we did cover visual aids. So sometimes people actually understand, and this is the human nature. Sometimes people actually understand more with graphs and with diagrams, with pictures. You can actually communicate very, very well as well. So with facial expressions, sometimes you can just, some people have got this habit of, while they're talking as well, their hands all the time go like, like top, bottom, or something or the other. So yeah, so there is like facial expressions, gestures, the way you sit, the way you stand. Sometimes people are very restless. They keep shaking their legs, and it's like, that is a sort of a sign of restlessness. Yeah, but people have that non-verbal communication gestures that they do have. Yeah. Excellent. Has someone got anything to add to this?
I was just thinking, I was laughing as you were saying that, because that's exactly me. I talk with my hands all the time. My legs are always restless. Yes. Zoom conferences are horrible for me because I'm a hand talker, and I have to, you can't see my hands.
Yes, and some people have this got a habit of doing this with the pen, like tuck 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 all the time. The pen keeps going. So yeah, so that's.
Have we shared a desk space, Shweta? Have we been in the same work environment before?
That's it. Yeah, yeah. So it's just sort of they build that habit, and that's okay. But it can be disturbing for someone else, like that shaking the legs, or But that's how the people. This person is. So yeah. Yeah. All right, so moving on to slide 9. All right, we're going to do this activity. Can someone come up with any idea, any problem that you guys have faced in past or something like that, and think of a problem that you guys have faced in past, and you had different ideas and the team had different ideas, and when the ideas were put together, it worked better. Do you Do you want to do this as an activity, or should we just go recap of what we have had in past?
I think just do a recap of what we've done in the past.
Yeah. So has someone got any idea?
I have a recent one.
Yes.
A recent one from my workplace. It was to do with needing a temporary workforce.
Yes.
And we needed a temporary workforce. We needed them to be up and running, supporting the amount of work we have going on.
Yes.
And there was a very traditional method of training, which was a really good baseline of knowledge,
Yes.
but it took a long time, and it assumed that people would get more on the job exposure and grow. So it was a very quite a long path until those people were competent. So what we did is we took some of those baseline ideas and we thought, well, what can we do to the work activity to, I guess, reduce the complexity? So we actually picked out bits of the work activity that people could take a little more time on, that they didn't need to have such an immediacy or such a recall of knowledge, and we shortened the training program down to a couple of days and brought in expert support for them to navigate it, which is something we're doing differently to what we've done before. But we limited the scope of the work that they would actually do when they were out of training. So that kind of worked well, bringing in some new thinking to established ideas, and bringing in the thoughts on support from different people in the business. We managed to get more. We managed to get some productivity out of them a lot quicker than when we have traditionally.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree here. So, even with as a supervisor, or even as even the principal of a school or something, I'm pretty sure like they have board members as well, and everyone has to put their own ideas. And then, sometimes your idea doesn't get any consideration, but that's all right, as long as you've contributed to the group. That's what matters at the end of the day. And sometimes your ideas do get that worth of money for it. So yeah, so I think working as a team and getting recognized for your ideas and achieving the goal that you all are working together for is what matters at the end of the day. Right, moving on to slide 10. So this one speaks for itself. So we're going to cover the sharing. So let's say, we've got a lot of members here in this group, in the Inspire team group now that we have, where most of us are on the verge of completing, or some of us have already completed, the course, and they're still in that group. Okay, so first of all, thank you for being in that group still, but that's what sharing is about. So you've had that knowledge, okay, and my observer here sitting here, so she's got that knowledge already. But if she's going to be selfish, or if you're going to be selfish and say, nah, this is my idea, this is my knowledge, I have gained that knowledge already, I've done my course, I've gained that knowledge from experience, or from doing the course, or from from your job or wherever, I'm not going to share it, because that person will get the increment, that person will get recognition for it, they'll steal my ideas, so I'm just going to keep it to myself, and sit here, be happy for that I've achieved that for myself. No, that's not how it works. You'll see on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, social media, tweeting, news. So people share their ideas. Sometimes people go to Bunnings and find this thing, oh, I've cleaned this oven with this blah $5 thing. And, they share it on Facebook. Why do they share it? Because of the betterment of someone else, for the other people. Okay, so you can go and buy this product. They're not saying, you give me the money for, and I'm giving you this idea. No, they're sharing it for your betterment. And that's just, they do not expect anything in return from you. All they're doing is, okay, so this is a product and I've done this and this has worked, good for me. So why don't you as well try it? So this is called no selfish, purpose behind it, and you're sharing your knowledge, your idea, or what has worked for you. So you share it. That's what this slide is about. And that's what you call sharing of your knowledge for no selfish purpose behind. Okay. Has someone got anything to add to this? No?
Yeah. Just saying, I think that's the coolest thing about this group is that you've got the people who are willing to share their knowledge, are willing to spend their time, and
Exactly.
I think that's great. It's it's really one of the best things about having a group is when people are willing to share what everyone's got something different they bring to the table. When they're willing to share it,
Absolutely.
that just makes everything better.
Yes, thank you. So so slide 11. It's about group problem solving. Do I have a volunteer here, please?
Yeah, sure. So share information relevant to work with work group. For a group team to work effectively, members should use open communication channels by observing one another's satisfactory or unsatisfactory performance, recognizing workplace hazards, risks and controls, and clarifying the organization's preferred task completion methods. Group problem solving. Solving problems in a group has 4 major advantages: greater knowledge of information, more approaches to the problem, increased acceptance of the solution, and better comprehension of the decision.
Thank you. Do you want to add something to this, Mark? Oh, Mickey.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I think for me, there's a little bit there around the slides says a lot of it. And I think there's also sometimes where you have to give the illusion of inclusion, right, as a leader. So
Yes.
you know the direction it has to go. However, you need to make it feel like it's a group think tank, even though it mightn't be. So the whole idea of group working together definitely has advantages, but sometimes you need to go the other way and give the illusion of inclusion to make everyone feel they're part of the process.
Correct.
Even though they're not.
Yes.
Good comment,
Yes.
Vicky.
But that's how the team works. That is how the team works. If you're gonna say to someone, no, this wasn't your decision, you weren't part of it, just because your idea was just crap, or it wasn't worth it, or something like that, that means you just you've just ruined your team right there. Yeah.
My favorite line of that is always, that's one way to look at it. Let's park it there. Certainly one way to look at it. It's not the right way, but it's one way to look at it.
Yeah, but that's how it works. When sometimes your ideas are not worth, or you yourself couldn't come up with any ideas, or you couldn't contribute to the group problem solving. But that's all right. Everyone's a winner as long as you've actually mutually agreed. So that's what we're going to cover actually in one of my slides later. The voting method. I will cover that when it comes. Yeah.
I'm better at contributing to problem causing myself. That's more my wheelhouse.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Slide 12. Do I have a volunteer here?
Me, I want to go, please.
Please. Thanks, Natalia.
Brainstorming is a process where all members of the group express any ideas or solutions that occur to them without logic or deep thought, quickly and at random. Often, an illogical random thought from one person will lead to a logical thought from another, merely through the association of ideas. All members of the group should be allowed a chance to put forward ideas through effective communication and effective learning. Look at the little brains.
All right. Do you want to add something to this, Natalia?
No, I think, look, brainstorming is one of my favorite things, because everybody gets to participate and they feel, part of the group, and they feel important and included. And yeah, I strongly believe in brainstorming.
Excellent, thank you. So as this diagram here says, foggy atmosphere with the chance of a good brainstorm followed by clear skies. So basically, you've all contributed, and so clear skies, so basically clear goals, clear understanding of the goals, if you are just actually still trying to understand the goals. So basically everyone puts their worth in there, and then so we are all on the same page. That's what actually effective communication, brainstorming and working as a team is all about. So you all contribute towards the team goals, and we all actually put forward our ideas, or how do we go about, even if you're sometimes just, you know, in hospitality industry, you're still deciding a menu. So if you're still deciding a menu, you can still give your, you know, own ideas about what's going to happen on Friday, what's going to happen on Saturday, what's going to happen on Sunday, what's going to happen for breakfast, and, you know, like what design, like people have this beautiful designs that they make on their cup of coffee nowadays. So even if you contribute to that, you know, even if it is that simple decision and you've contributed to that, that's basically it, you know. Even if it's just as simple as just a penny decision that's been made. So I think everyone's a winner as long as you've contributed, even though your decision doesn't get, your idea doesn't get that, you know, selected. I think as long as you've contributed, that's what matters at the end of the day. Yeah, right, slide 13. Do I have a volunteer here?
I'll do it.
Yes, thanks, Yi.
No worries. So group size, how a group performs tasks can be affected by its size. As a group grows, more coordination and communication is required to achieve a positive outcome. It is difficult to estimate an ideal group size, but problems can occur when the group becomes big. So we have, I don't even know how to read this.
That's all right. So I'm going to explain this diagram. So basically, it's like A and B. So there's two people, okay? So that's just one relationship, one-on-one talk, okay? So me and you talking. So that's A and B, all right? Now we bring in Sylvia in the middle, okay? So now it's A, B, and C. So there's three people talking. So there's three relationships there, okay? So me talking to you, or me talking to Sylvia. So there's that triangle there. So A, B, and C, right? Then a group of four. So we bring in Mick or Mark or whoever. So yeah, so there's six people now. So can you see that's like, you know, A and D also talking, B and C also talking. So there's six. So even though there's people, four people, but there's six relationships. So because everyone's talking here. So that's what I'm trying to explain here with these diagrams. So a group of five, there's 10 relationships going on here. So A and B talking, A and E talking, A and C also talking, and A and D talking. So can you see how these are joined in the middle? So that's what the diagram and everything is about. So the more when we say the more the merrier, so the people who keep joining in the group. So then there's a group of 7 people, and then there's 21 relationships right there. So in the 7, and a group of 6 is 15 relationships. So when you so basically we are 53 people or 52 people in that group. So basically sometimes you know, people join from I remember there was a lady who joined from a different RTO as well. So there's basically, you know, there's other people who join in the group, and there's like it's just the communication is better when it is one-on-one. It is still okay, fine when it is 3 people or 4 people, but as the group just gets bigger and bigger, so even though we are 53 people here, but still sometimes we struggle to get 8 people for a presentation, because we do not have that effective communication. Sometimes that effective communication is lacking, or, you know, we are all at different place, so that time management also, so we all cannot work together. Some people are busy with their work schedule, so they have their own work at that time, okay? So basically when the group becomes big, the goals are definitely achieved, but we all have to work according to our own timings as well. Does that make sense?
It does, and it's a really good point you raised, Shweta, because sometimes a lot of voices can actually make it really hard to be heard and really hard to make progress. But for me, I think it depends on the circumstance. So if if it's a blank slate, as in if there's nothing, you know, we're trying to come up with ideas and we're trying to come up with a new concept or different kinds of solutions, then the more voices at the table can be really rich. It can really help. But if it comes to that point where we're needing to make strategic decisions and like locking things down, that this is definitely the way we need to move forward. The group needs to be smaller, and it needs to be with those who just have got the most skin in the game, or have got the most expertise in the subject matter. But I think it's a really good point, to make effective communication in the workplace. Thinking about the size of the group that you need is very key, depending on what you're trying to tackle.
Correct. And that's why sometimes some people actually find it better to actually divide the group. So let's say if you've got 100 employees and you're going to address that, one problem. So it's probably better to divide the group in 15 or 10 or, so that, you have got a representative of that 10 group, or, 10 different groups. So basically everyone's voice can be heard. Whereas if you put all of them 100 together and you're trying to address everyone, no, it's just gonna mess the whole thing. Yeah, so basically, I think, if you want your voice to be heard, you have to work the group size. Right, moving on to slide 14. Do I have a volunteer here?
Power today comes from sharing information, not withholding it. Written by Keith Ferrazzi.
Yes, so do you want to add something to this, Sylvia?
Look, I do agree. We've already discussed this just a little bit earlier, in that it is good to be sharing information, because you gave the example about the $5 oven cleaning product. But irrespective of what it is, it's always good to share with your group, because it's knowledge that you're imparting that you already have. And I think that is the greatest gift anyone can give to another person, is handing out your own knowledge. What's the point of just keeping it to yourself? So I think it's important to share the information that you have, and help the other person become more knowledgeable in the process.
Exactly, and that's what we guys have been doing together, as I said as well, that my observer here does not have, like, she's not going to achieve anything, you're not going to achieve anything from my presentation. You're all volunteering to be part of my presentation for my betterment. You are not achieving anything. I'm not going to pay you for a show. So yeah, but same with as part of the group, we are all achieving our own goals, but working towards one goal. So I attended your presentations, or so sort of we are sharing our knowledge. So when we actually did, like, what kind of experience you have in hospitality industry, so telling me about what kind of experience you had in hospitality industry, you probably didn't gain nothing, but that's learning from your experience. Right. Moving on to slide 15. Thank you. If I have a volunteer here, please.
Strategic planning model. The strategic planning model starts with preparation. Where are we now? What are our values, behaviour and philosophy? Then we move on to where do we want to be? How do we get there? Goals, objectives, action and plan all need to be put into place. And then we have to action it, and then we have to follow it up, and then support it.
Exactly. So this is a cycle as well. So do you want to add something to this, Sylvia?
No, I think that just makes perfect sense.
Exactly. So
that's a start.
Yes. So basically, you prepare, and then you decide where you are right now. What do you want to achieve? What are your values, your behavior, your philosophy, and where do you want to be? What is your goal? What do you want to achieve from here, and how do you get there? So you plan ahead. You do your time management, your scheduling. So exactly what we learned yesterday. And then you have your goals, objectives, and action plan towards it. So you put the planning ahead of it, and then you action it. You put it in action and follow up and support. So follow up can be sometimes just feedback as well, and support what you've done. And then sometimes it can just keep on going. That cycle just keeps on going. It doesn't end there. And then you just, when you do receive the follow-up or feedback from someone, you again have to prepare. So yeah. Right, thank you. So moving on to slide 16. Do I have a volunteer here, please? No?
I'll
That's all
take
right.
it.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Mark.
Team decision making. The purpose of any group/team in a business is to achieve the corporate goals. The best decision is the one that is based on unbiased input from each team member and addresses the team goals. Below are different kinds of decision-making processes. One, an individual decision-making process. The individual who's responsible for the outcome makes the decision. A minority, a subgroup of the team, makes the decision either as a group or in individual consultation with the team leader. Majority rule is usually obtained by voting or polling. Consensus, it's where every member of the team can say, I clearly understand the viewpoint of the decision we have made and I'm prepared to support it. Unanimous consent, it's where everyone truly agrees on the course of action. And plop, it's the decision by lack of decision. Someone suggests an idea, no one responds, and the conversation moves on. The idea just plopped.
That's it. Yeah. Do you want to add something to this, Mark?
I think all I can say is I've been there in different kinds of conversations, and the ideas that have plopped. I'm usually the first person to speak up and come up with the worst, dumbest idea. And I'm kind of proud of that because it always leads us onto different conversation that gets somewhere we need to be. So there's a time and a place for each kind of decision making and each kind of, there's a time and a place for all of these. And the ideas that plop aren't always a bad thing. They start the conversation.
As long as you take it healthy, it's just, as we said, like, as long as you are happy with, you've contributed. Yeah, that's what matters.
Absolutely.
Is there someone who wants to add to this? No, I think so. It is definitely self-explanatory, but I'm gonna, definitely stress on the consensus and majority bit of it. So basically, sometimes the individual is basically you're responsible for your own outcome or decision that you are making, and you work on your own. So that's doesn't need any explanation, I don't think. But minority is like just a group of 2 people or 3 people, and then you just sometimes the minority wins. But then majority, like how it's in elections as well, like polling or voting, or majority is when you're voting, okay, and you're putting it towards, like, sometimes just few things in your locality, in your shire needs a decision, like, do you agree for this? Do you, like, there was like same-sex marriage and we all got to vote for it and all those kind of things. So you're voting or polling and the majority wins, okay? And although you didn't win, let's say you didn't win, you put in, say, no, I don't like this, and you did not win, but then the majority won. So you have to understand that you have to respect everyone's idea. So if you did not like I'm just giving an example of same-sex marriage, but it can be something else or something like that, whatever. So but if you did not like the idea of same-sex marriage, but everyone else liked it, and that got consensus, okay, that got majority won. But it's basically respecting their own, if you don't like it, you don't do it, okay? But everyone else, if someone wants to do it, it's their choice, okay? And
it wasn't making same-sex marriage mandatory. No, you're right. Not everyone had to have one.
Yeah, that's right. So if you don't like it, you don't do it. But then majority, if the majority is one and they like it, so it's their choice. If everyone's a winner, as long as you respect that majority vote. You need to respect everyone's culture, and that is what team is about, everyone's culture or everyone's values, their own values. Okay, so consensus, it is where every member of the team can say, I understand the viewpoint, I understand your goals, I understand our goals. So sometimes it is more important, it is very, very important that you say it is our goals. It's not your goal, XYZ goals, it's our goals. We are together. We are in it together. Everyone keeps saying, like, you know, how in WA, Mark McGowan saying, we are in it together. So basically, you know, we are all as a team, we are working as like with unions and all those kind of things. They all try to make it like, sometimes you cannot be part of the union meeting. Sometimes you cannot be, you know, but they are all working for our betterment. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I think it is about, that that you understand that someone else is working for your betterment, and without any selfishness. Okay, so and you, it's just that if we are prepared to support it, that's what matters at the end of the day. Yeah, and plops are good. Yeah. All right, moving on to slide 17. So summary. I think we are on time today. So summary, so what did we learn so far today? Can someone?
Yeah, no, there's different styles of how teams work, decision making. You know, and I think that decision making, one thing to keep in mind there too is that it depends on the type of decision around the involvement you bring in. Yeah, if it's going to be unpopular, you're not going to go for a group vote. If that makes sense, you're going to try, and there's certain things you have to go with it. Yeah, just different way teams work. I think it was really insightful.
Exactly. So yeah, so we've learned what the team is about, team building activities. Yesterday we did about that, strategic planning model, and sort of what size of group we should have, and how the team decision making process takes place. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And can someone tell me, where does this colors come from?
Donald's.
No, it's Hungry Jacks. Help us make it better. Oh, burgers are better with Hungry Jacks.
Well, that confusion, there's another lawsuit.
Oh no, so I just yeah, so help us make it better. So if there is any feedback, please guys flick it through. And yes, cooking is in hospitality industry, I think cooking is the awesome way to express your creativity. And if you're happy, team is happy, and you actually put that happiness in your food. I think, you know, as a saying goes, food often brings people together. And I think, especially in Australia, we are all multicultural people here, and different kinds of food is actually putting it all of us together as well. So yeah, I'm just going to end it here with a smile, and happy Sunday, and thank you for joining me, guys.
Happy Sunday, guys.
See you.
Shweta, great
Thanks,
job.
Shweta.
Bye-bye, Super.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Till next time.
See ya.
Thanks all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.